Welcome to my Asshole Podcast. Let's get into it. Welcome to Am I the Asshole Podcast. We have Thursday's episode. I'm excited to get back into our book, Hooked. We're going to be doing another 4 chapters of it. I believe it'll be 11, 12, 13, and 14. So hopefully you guys enjoy that awesomeness. But before we get into our book, you know what we got. We got a juicy little thread for you. This thread is a little interesting, and it kind of made me chuckle to myself a little bit. This one is, what is the female equivalent of sitting on your balls? As we all know, us men's, our testicles are very sensitive. And so we're like, I wonder what the equivalent of that is for girls. A lot of girls do say it is their boobs. And they're like, oh yeah, you know, if you smack our boobie, it hurts really bad. But there may be some other, things out there that may be a good equivalent for you guys. So let's see what you guys put down. All right, so what is the female equivalent of accidentally sitting on your balls? When you get the lightning bolt up your ass when you're on your period? What? Wait.
What?
A what now? You get a what up your... Is this just some period pains I don't know about? Okay, all right. You guys are going to have to elaborate on that one. I've never heard of that. Never heard of that. I've never heard a girl be like, oh no, here comes that lightning bolt in my butt. All right. Let's see. Okay. Wait, hold on. Is it this one? Okay, there we go. All right. Ladies, what is the equivalent, woman equivalent to sitting on your balls? Walking clit first into a pointed furniture corner, folded me like a lawn chair. Wait, that can happen? Wait, what? I mean, okay. I have no idea. I didn't know that you guys could run it into things. I didn't know you guys could run it into things. I mean, I get it. It's it's sensitive and everything, but I never assumed you guys could run it into shit. That's wild. Okay. Damn, she said it had her folded like a lawn chair. She was like, yo, no, that shit sucked. All right. Ladies, what is the woman equivalent to sitting on your balls? Laying down on your front or turning and suddenly getting crippling pain in your titty like you've torn something inside. What? Or underwire bra snapping and impaling your baps. Okay, is also awful. So you guys can pull a titty? That's crazy. Imagine that. A girl just goes over to her side and she's like, oh, pull the titty. That's crazy. What the heck? Hey, you ladies got some explaining to do. What is going on here? What is this? That is wild. That is absolutely wild. You guys got some explaining to do. I did not know you could pull a titty. That's wild. All right, ladies, what is the equivalent of sitting on your balls? I rolled onto my titty the other night, woke up because I thought I was being pinched. Nope, just crushed my boob with my arm. Wait, again, you can do that? You can? How would you crush your... what? How is this possible? How are you doing this? It makes no sense. How do you crush your boob with your arm? It's like, I don't get it. What? She must have some big boobs to be doing that. Because I can't see a girl who's got, small or just even medium-sized ones, crushing her boob with her arm. What the heck? All right. All right, hey, this is eye opening to women's lives, man. You guys got it hard out here, I guess. You know what I mean? You could pull a titty, ram the clitoris into a sharp corner. Like, man, that's crazy. It's crazy. It's dangerous out here. All right, ladies, what is the equivalent to sitting on your balls? Sitting/laying down for a long time and then standing up while being on your period. Huh. I love the comment. You suddenly give birth to a jellyfish. That's ridiculous. I don't know how standing up on your period would be, like, I guess painful. I think that would feel weird more often than not, just because it feels like something is just kind of sliding at you, that's kind of gross. But I guess sitting and laying down a long time and then standing up, you just old. You're just old, man. You know what I mean? You're just an old lady at that point. Goddamn. Ladies, what is the equivalent to sitting on your balls? When you're on your period and your vagina goes, yeah, no, and you sit down and sudden pain shoots up from your vagina to your whole pelvis with lots of pain. It's awful. I think that is what she was talking about when she was saying the whole lightning ass thing. Maybe that's what she was talking about. She sat down and it was just like lightning. Okay, maybe those are the same comments. I could be wrong. It could be completely different pain. They're like, no. This pain is different than this pain. I don't know. Okay, yeah, no. Because literally someone put there the lightning vagina stabs. Yeah, it's the same thing. Okay, now it makes more sense. Because I'm like, what do you mean you have lightning pains going up your ass? Like, what are you talking about, girl? Like wait, hold up. Alright, so I guess that's what she means. Okay, what? I don't. You have to be trolling on this one. Says, ladies, what is the equivalent to sitting on your balls? Accidentally sitting on your tits, obviously. You got to be trolling, man. You got to be trolling on that one. There ain't no way. Like, what the heck? Now, maybe if somebody else sat on them, all right, I can see that. See how that would hurt. That wouldn't necessarily feel good, you know what I mean? Because sometimes, like, your girl is, she wants to like sit on your lap or whatever, so she'll like sit on your lap, but she'll sit right in that wrong spot, and you're like, oh, those are my boys. You're like, oh, but you don't say nothing, you know what I mean? You thug it out because, that's your girl, she's sitting on your lap, it's kind of sexy, but your balls is hurting. I ain't gonna lie, man, that shit sucks, but hey, us men be thugging it out. All right. Ladies, what is the equivalent to sitting on your balls? Accidentally brushing your nipple with your hairbrush. That happens? I mean, I guess it makes sense because, like, when you're brushing your hair, you guys are kind of going like that. But I didn't think you would. I don't know. I didn't think you would actually accidentally be able to, like, scratch the nipple. You know what I mean? I did not think that. I guess so. Because, like I said, it makes sense. It's like you're brushing your hair, like that. But, okay. All right. Did not know that would be a thing. All right, ladies, what is the equivalent to sitting on your balls? Pulling out a dry tampon. I could see how that one would be kind of uncomfortable. Jeez, that must. I don't think it would be like pain. I guess it would be painful and uncomfortable, but I think it would feel more uncomfortable than it would be painful. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong on that one, but I can just imagine how like that would, yeah, because it wouldn't want to come out. That's the thing. It wouldn't want to come out. You would just be like forcing that thing out. All right, ladies, what is the equivalent to sitting on your balls? Probably when your bra suddenly tries to assassinate you with a rogue underwire, or when you bend down and your boob just slams into something with full force, unintentional, painful, and makes you question your life choices. That's wild. She said when your bra tries to assassinate you. Oh, man. Hey, maybe you shouldn't wear something that has that wire in there, maybe you should just wear something that's supportive. Damn, son. Hey, that's wild how, like, ladies, their clothes, be trying to kill them and shit. But it's wild how, like, there's so many little things that, like, I wouldn't even think of, that you guys are just like, nah, this would suck. This would feel painful. And I'm like, damn. And that's why I was so excited to do this thread, because I'm like, I'm about to learn today. I'm about to learn today the weird shit you women go through. It's not like a girl's going to tell you all this. Let's be straight. All right, ladies, what is the equivalent to sitting on your balls? Your cat stepping all their weight directly on your nipple while they're walking across your chest. I guess so. I mean, the cat doesn't know, okay? You know what I mean? He doesn't know. He doesn't know what's going on. But I didn't know that would be painful. Okay. Man, a lot of nipple ones. A lot of nipple ones and period ones. Yeah. All right, ladies, what is the equivalent to sitting on your balls? Getting punched in the cervix during sex, or a bra underwire stabbing you. Getting punched in the cervix during sex. What? I mean, I guess she's had some, she's had some meat in her days. She's had some meat in her days. And man, I'm not saying most of the women, would understand, but you could tell she's had some meat in her days. She's like, yeah, those are the ones that she talks about where they're like, no, those hurt. Those hurt. You know what I mean? This one is just right. It's just the right size. Oh, man. Yeah, she's had some meat in her days. God damn. All right, ladies, what is the equivalent to getting punched or sitting on your balls? Sorry. Sitting on the tampon string and getting that real uncomfortable tug. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. I didn't know that you could sit on the string. I always assumed like the string would be tucked somewhere. I don't know. I don't fucking know. I assumed it would just be tucked and chilling and be all right. It's like, all right, cool. I didn't know you could sit on it. I guess this one would be the equivalent to, like, I guess a guy scratching his balls, if I'm being honest with you. Because when dudes like in the summertime, our balls like stick to our inner thigh, and we gotta like adjust it a little bit. I think this would be the equivalent to that more than anything. Because, you got to go down there and you got to fix it. You know what I mean? You got to do what you got to do. All right, ladies, what is the equivalent to sitting on your balls? Menstrual cramps. Your lower abdomen is literally gushing while also contracting, usually putting you on the floor if you haven't taken your handful of painkillers yet. Plus, the worst of it lasts 24 hours. I've had to pull over in traffic in the past from the pain because I couldn't concentrate on the road anymore. Woo! Yeah. I could see that. Because I know my ex, she had to be on birth control just to, like, control it. She was like, bro, it'd be unbearable. Yeah, and then she was like an overbleeder and all this stuff. And I was like, oh, Jesus, to the point where, like, she'd bleed too much and pass out and shit. And I was like, oh, fuck. Yeah, some crazy shit. It's crazy shit. Ladies, what is the equivalent to sitting on your balls? One of your lips slipping out of your underwear that you're wearing and sitting on that, or getting that caught between tight pants and your underwear. Oh, okay. I didn't know that the lip slipping out, you could sit on that. I and I didn't think it would hurt either. I was assumed the lips were kind of just like some cushion, but I guess if like one is just flipped out, I guess the underwear would then be like digging in. I'm guessing so. All right, hey, the vagina is very technical. I'm guessing it's very technical. All right. All right, ladies, what is the equivalent to sitting on your balls? When the wings of the pads get stuck in your pubes and you get a free wax trying to remove it. Oh, yeah, I could see that. Oh, ha, ha, ha. That would hurt. Oh, that would hurt so bad. Oh, because it's literally pulling your hair out. Oh, see that's why you gotta shave it up. You gotta shave it up. Keep it bald, baby. Gotta shave it up, man. All right, ladies, what is the equivalent to sitting on your balls? This might be an equivalent, but I do enjoy having an opportunity to tell this story. Once I was feeling this annoying pain in my labia throughout the day. When I finally had the chance to take a look at it, when I got home, I realized a single strand of hair had wrapped around the loose skin and tied itself into a knot. Just a tiny part of skin, so imagine being pinched very sharply in the skin, and it was really quite tight, so it took some fumbling to get it off, and that was really no fun. How in the hell does that happen? How? It was like this hair just magically was like loop, swoop, and pull. Like what the fuck? Like it was just some magic going on down here. Like what the fuck? Okay. I mean, hey, I guess. Okay, wow. That's something else. That is something else. All right, I'm going to do 4 more in the thread. Ladies, what is the equivalent to sitting on your balls? My mother, when she was 87, leant on her boob. The language coming down the phone was impressive. Well, I mean, yeah, man, she's 87, bro. Fall. I don't know if she fell or what. I don't know what happened, but I guess she leaned on it. Yeah, I guess she leaned on it. And it was like, oh, son of a motherfucking beep. So, hey, yeah, man, she's 87, dog. She's 87, man. All right, ladies, what is the equivalent to sitting on your balls? When you're adjusting your bra and your hand slips and you punch yourself in the face. That's crazy. What the hell? You guys got to let me know if you've done that. You got to let me know if you punch yourself in the face. Over here like, right in the chin. And it's like, do you really need like that much force to the point where like you punch yourself in the face to adjust the booby holster, the over-the-shoulder boulder holder? Goodness gracious. I would think it would be pretty smooth to move it around. Maybe not. I don't know. I have no idea. You guys got some explaining to do down in the comments. You really do. Because these concepts are crazy to me. Unheard of. Ladies, what is the equivalent to sitting on your balls? Accidentally hitting yourself in the boob. How? You guys, the boobies really are crash test dummies. They are, man. They are. They're just taking the impacts of everything. Like, my goodness, they're the reason why you guys punch yourself in the face. They're the reason why you guys, or they try to assassinate you. The bras try to assassinate you. If your hairbrush just scrapes it, you guys are like, oh, you know what I mean? Like, bro, the boobs are just crazy out here. All right. This will be our last one. Ladies, what is the equivalent to sitting on your balls? Let's see. Okay. When your kid is laying on or beside you and goes up and uses their entire weight on their elbow that happened to be on your boob. Damn. See what I mean? Hey, Boobs, man, they are the fucking crash test dummies of women. I won't lie to you. They are the crash test dummies of women. Oh, but that's going to go ahead and be that thread, man. Hope you guys enjoyed that thread. I know I did. I learned a lot of crazy concepts. Absolutely wild, the shit that can happen to you guys. I'm like, I've never heard of any of this. None of my female friends have ever told me any of this stuff, and now I got a lot of questions. I'm going to be asking them questions. I'm going to be like, like, have you ever brushed, your nipple, like, while you were brushing your hair? Has it ever just, like, on your nipple, And then I'm going to be like, have you ever run into anything sharp? Have you just, your clit just run into anything sharp? You know what I mean? Has that happened? I got a lot. Has your bra ever tried to assassinate you? Yeah, I got a lot to ask now, Thank you for this eye-opening thread. Ladies, get down there and, yes, what are some crazy shit that's happened to you that is so painful, it feels like you're sitting on your balls? Let me know. All right, so we're going to hop through announcements, and then we're going to get into our 4 chapters of Hooked. All right, so patreon.com/Am I the Asshole podcast. Get an exclusive episode every single Friday, as well as being able to send in your scenario to be featured on the Tuesday and Sunday show. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the Tuesday show with our guest, my best friend Alex. Hope you guys enjoyed that episode. I had a lot of submissions and people sending in scenarios for him to go over, so definitely, if you haven't checked that episode out, definitely do. That episode was a hoot, man. We did a how well do you know your best friend quiz, as well as just some scenarios and stuff like that you guys had written into him to have him kind of go over, and it was funny to see how stumped he was to you guys' crazy scenarios that you guys send in. And I'm just like, yeah, man, now you know how I feel every week when they send in these crazy scenarios. And I'm like, I don't know how to react to that. So it's definitely an episode worth watching, man. And then, and it's crazy, the stark contrast of when he was on the episode, or when he was on the podcast, I'm sorry, the first time, and to when he was on the podcast now, just how far the podcast has changed and grown. And it, honestly, me too. It was funny. I was editing the episode and I'm like, dang, just looking at myself. And I went back and watched our very first episode 2 years ago. And I was like, man, mad difference. But yes, go check out that episode, man, if you haven't already. Audio listeners, keep downloading the podcast as well as rating us 5 stars on your preferred listening platform. It helps out a lot. Helps get new people on in, checking out the show, checking out the episode, getting caught up with the book, all that good stuff. So definitely get down there with that. I love all the support and I appreciate it so much. And guess what, baby? It's for free. And if it's faux free, then it's faux me. And if you want to help out even more on the free 99 side of things, follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and subscribe on YouTube, man. It helps out a lot. We are growing in subscribers. We're growing in followers. Shit is moving steadily. All right, it is moving steadily, and I do appreciate all of the support you guys have been showing. But without further ado, I'm going to stop yapping, and we're going to get into the book. All right, so let's go ahead and get on into today's book.
11. James. My office at the JR is the largest of all the back rooms. It used to be Rue's, but I convinced him to switch, citing the need for the ensuite shower. He doesn't necessarily do any dirty deeds, so he didn't put up a fight, but there are certain occasions which call for stains to be washed from my skin. Tonight was no exception. My hair is still damp as I sit behind my desk, reminiscing over the knowledge I ripped from that idiot Jason's brain. He deteriorated into sobs as soon as I walked into the room, my knife glinting under the fluorescent lights. The sight of my hooked blade twirling through my fingers was all it took for him to tell me everything he knew. Not that his version of truth does me much good. He'd never actually known the man whom he decided was worth crossing me for, not even a name. But Jason is a pathetic excuse of a boy. And boys are fickle. Real men have loyalty. That being said, I'm no idiot. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to put 2 and 2 together. There's a new player in town, one with power and money to fly under the radar, to not expose his evil to the world while he parades around like some type of king. Peter Michaels. It's smart, truly. After all, it's easier to do misdeeds when you hide them in plain sight. People don't expect to see darkness in the daylight. A knock on the office door snaps me from my thoughts. Come in. A scowl mars Starkey's boyish face as he pushes Wendy into the room. The pink of her cheeks darken as she glances around the office, her gaze locking on me behind the desk. Her hands twist together, and I bite back the satisfaction at seeing her nerves play so visibly. Leave, I say to Starkey, my eyes never moving from Wendy. It's thick, same way it always is when she's here. The energy crackling between us. It would make things easier for me personally if I wasn't attracted to her, but having this type of chemistry will undoubtedly help my plan unfold. Help make it believable. She moves closer, her pale blue dress swishing around her knees, dark hair framing her cherry cheeks. Her tongue swipes out to lick her bottom lip. Hi, she says. My stomach flips. Hi back. Do you normally send lackeys to do your dirty work? I tilt my head. That depends. Are you planning on getting dirty? She laughs. You don't ever turn it off, huh? Turn what off? The charm. You must have had lots of practice with as good as you wield it. I stand up from my chair, walking around to the front of my desk and leaning against it. Do you find me enchanting? Her face flushes a deeper shade of crimson, making a thrill zip through my chest. You don't need me to inflate your ego. I reach out and grasp her palm, gazing at the pink nail polish on her dainty fingers. My thumb swipes across the back of her hand. On the contrary, darling, I believe I need you for a lot of things. Her mouth parts on an inhale. My turn for questions. I step into her. Do I make you nervous? No, she mutters. Her chest grazes against my torso with each breath, sending a shiver up my spine. My free hand brushes a strand of hair behind her ear. Don't lie to me. Or what? She whispers. The corner of my mouth tilts. Better you don't find out. Our eyes lock again and my chest spasms. She looks at me as though she's trying to see the colours of my soul, and the feeling makes me itch. So I break our stare, knowing the only thing she'll find is its absence. Her hand reaches up and turns my face, my stomach jolting when she does. Why did you bring me back here? My gaze bounces from her eyes to her mouth, suddenly desperate to know if she tastes as good as she feels. I lean closer, her breath skating across my lips. To say goodnight, I rasp. She pushes farther into me, her curves pressing against the length of my body, and even through the fabric of my shirt I can feel the heat. This girl is liable to make me lose my mind. So, are you going to? She asks. Say goodnight, I mean. My brows shoot to my hairline, surprise flickering through me at how forward she's being. Blood rushes to my cock, making it stiffen, and my arm wraps around her waist, pulling her flush against me, my fingertips skimming up her sides. Would you like me to? Yes, she stutters. Her hands press against my chest, and I dip down, my lips so close to brushing hers. Knock, knock. Wendy jumps back and my jaw tightens, frustration flowing through my veins at whoever is interrupting. What? I hiss. Rue opens the door and waltzes inside. Kid, oh, shit. His footsteps falter as he takes in the scene. Am I interrupting? I stifle the urge to tell him to get out, and instead paste a smirk on my face. If you're asking, then you already know the answer. He sits down on the couch against the far wall and spreads his legs wide. You gonna introduce us? He nods to Wendy. My heart skips. No, I hadn't intended for Rue to meet her yet. The last thing I want is for him to put two and two together and realize she's the daughter of the man who's trying to dip his hand into our business. I'm Wendy. My head snaps to her, then to Rue, and then the strangest thing happens. A surge of something hot whips through my insides and slices up my middle until I have to physically stop myself from pulling her into my arms and making sure Rue knows that she's mine. Wendy, he smiles. I'm Rue. Nice to meet you. You too. Her hand rises in a small wave. I'll leave you to it. Good night. She smiles, but it's strained and my chest pulls when she moves toward the door. I grab her wrist as she walks past. Let me take you home. She shakes her head. No, that's fine, really. I'll grab a cab. My teeth grind, wanting to argue, but knowing I may scare her away if I come across too strong. At least let me walk you out. She bites on her bottom lip and nods, turning toward the door. My palm goes to her lower back, my eyes narrowing at Rue when I see the giant grin on his face. You, I point, stay there. He raises his hands in the air, chuckling. Go handle your business, kid. We've got all night. I walk Wendy out front, ignoring the few patrons left in the bar, Moira and Curly in the corner cleaning up for the night. When we make it to the street, a cab is already there and waiting. She moves to open the door, but I stop her, my arms caging her in, the metal of the car's roof cool under my fingers. You're sure you won't allow me to drive you? She spins, smiling up at me. Thank you, but I'll be fine. I cup her cheek, my thumb brushing across her bottom lip. Her pupils dilate under the yellow glare of the streetlights. When will I get my date, darling? When do you want it? Yesterday. I press into her. Now. She stumbles into the cab's door. Tomorrow. Her hands push against my chest. Tomorrow works. I lean down, my lips brushing against her ear. And how will I find you? You can pick me up from the coffee shop at 7. She rises on her tiptoes to brush her lips across my cheek. Good night, James. And then she slips into the cab, closing the door behind her. I move to the front, knocking on the passenger window until it's rolled down, taking in the nameplate of the driver and lowering my voice so Wendy doesn't hear. Anything happens to her, and there will be no corner of the earth that can hide you from me, understand? The cabbie's eyes widen as he takes the fold of bills from my hand and nods. Good man. I tap the top of the cab and stand at the curb until they turn the corner, wondering what the warm sensation is in my chest and why I feel as though tomorrow can't come soon enough.
12. Wendy. My closet is destroyed, mounds of outfits covering the floor. I groan, glaring at the piles. How is it possible to own 1,000,000 pieces of clothing but not have a single solitary thing to wear? Nerves race down my spine as I look at the clock and realize I have half an hour before I'm supposed to meet James at the Vanilla Bean. Crap. I could have had him pick me up here, but the thought of him seeing where I live has my stomach churning. If he sees the mansion, he'll wonder how I'm living in it, and considering he's the first person in my life who seems to like me for me, instead of who my father is, I'm hoping to avoid that as long as possible. Plenty of men have tried to swoon their way into my heart, all of them with an agenda in their smile. Their gazes were sweet, but it was only a matter of time before their eyes lit up for my father in a way they never did for me. Not that I fell for them in the first place. I learned at a young age, 6 to be exact, that people were more interested in how I could serve their well-being instead of them caring about mine. Even children understand the sting of loneliness. And when my mother died, everyone I had grown to depend on slipped away, as if I were the problem, as if my grief was too much of a burden for them to bear. And maybe that's why I feel such a pull to James, because for the first time in my life, there's someone who wants me for me, not all the other bullshit that comes along with it. Sighing, I settle on a black dress, tight enough to show off my curves, but simple enough where it doesn't look like I'm trying too hard, and I finish getting ready before heading down the stairs. John is sitting in the family room, 100 pieces of a model airplane deconstructed and taking up the entire coffee table. I plop down in the chair across from him. He glances up, eyes widening as he takes me in. "You look nice. Big date?" I smile, my chest warming at his compliment. "Thanks. Yeah, actually, I do have a date." "Cool." He smiles. "I'm gonna get a head start on the homeschooling stuff." His words smack my insides, making my chest heavy with indecision. I haven't told him about the boarding school. It doesn't feel right to know and not tell him, but Dad said he would come home. He should be the one to see the look on John's face when he realizes he's being sent away. I glance around, noting the finished model airplanes set up in various spots. It's something John's always been into, but since we moved, he could fill up the whole house with them. "How you doing with everything?" I ask. He tilts his head, eyes narrowed on the pieces he's gluing together. "Vague question, Wendy." "I mean, everything. Like the move and stuff. You okay?" He shrugs. "I'm fine. Prefer it this way, actually. If I could stay here in this house forever and never leave again, it would be too soon." Guilt weaves its way through me, wrapping tightly until it bursts. Maybe there's still time to talk Dad out of this stupid boarding school idea. But then again, how healthy can it really be for a kid his age to stay holed up in a house all day with only his big sister for company? He rubs his nose. "Seriously, Wendy, I'm fine. You worry too much." I grin. Someone's got to. "Go enjoy your date." He waves me off. I chew on the inside of my cheek, my fingers twisting in my lap. Maybe I could cancel and we could hang out instead. John's gaze finally leaves his airplane, his eyes wide as he stares at me. I huff out a breath. "Fine, you don't have to look so mortified by the thought." He smiles at that, the dimples in his cheeks making my heart ache from how identical they are to our mothers. "All right then, I'll see you later, I guess." I stand up to leave. "Don't do anything I wouldn't do." My eyes narrow. "You don't do anything." He chuckles. "Exactly." For half a second, I think about canceling with James anyway. He's intimidating, all-consuming in the type of way that makes your insides quake and your mind go muddy. But even as the thought crosses my mind, I toss it to the side, knowing I won't. James's attention is an ember, flickering through my middle and lighting up everything in its path. And in the darkest parts of my mind, I hope that if my dad hears I'm gallivanting around with a man like James, one who's a little bit older and a lot of bit powerful, if he'll finally come home. My anxiety rises like a storm surge on the way to the coffee shop. I walk toward the front door, my clammy hands skimming down the front of my dress, breathing deep to calm my nerves. What was I thinking saying yes to this? I got here a little early, specifically so I'd have some time. But when I walk inside, he's already here, chatting with Angie like they're old friends, his suit cut perfectly to his frame. Idly, I wonder what he'd look like in jeans or an old stained shirt. It seems like he's never anything less than perfectly put together. My gaze flicks around the shop. It's busy tonight, and James hasn't noticed that I'm here yet. My heart slams against my ribs. Walking toward him feels like diving in the deep end without knowing how to swim. But it doesn't make my steps falter. If anything, I pick up the pace, an odd sense of excitement making me want to find out how far down the water goes. Angie sees me first, her eyes sparkling as she takes me in. "Hey, girl, look who's here. Tall, dark, and handsome showed up early." James turns toward me and, like a power surge, my body sparks, the electricity from his stare making my hair stand on end. "Hi," I smile. He straightens and moves toward me, close enough to dust a kiss across my cheek. I suck in a breath, the heat of his body sending a shiver down my side. His fingertips trail down my arm as he backs up, and his stare is heavy, stripping me naked with a simple look. A heady sensation grows deep in my belly and settles between my legs. "Beautiful," he says. It's one word, but it caresses me like velvet, my insides purring at his approval. "You too." He smirks. "You think I'm beautiful?" His tone is playful, and it ignites that same foreign fire from the first night we met, when I wondered what it would feel like to be a different type of Wendy. My eyebrow quirks. "What, you think a man can't have beauty?" "A man can have many things, darling." He steps in closer. "But the only beauty I hope to have tonight is yours." My stomach flips, butterflies bursting like a cannon. "Your mouth should be illegal," I mutter. "So, where are you taking me?" Angie laughs. "Who cares where he's taking you, girl? Just go!" She makes a shooing motion with her hands. James glances her way before resting his palm on my lower back. "She's right, you know. You should relax. Let me wine and dine you properly." He leans in, his lips skimming the top of my ear. "And if you're a good girl, maybe I'll show you the real reason why my mouth should be illegal." Heat floods my body, swirling through my insides and pulsing between my legs. I huff out a surprised breath, my fingers pushing against his chest. "That's extremely presumptuous." His eyes sparkle, his hand never leaving my back as he moves me toward the door. "Just letting you know what's on the menu." He leads me outside to a blacked-out Audi. My hand reaches to grasp the handle, but before I can, he's there, opening the door and helping me in. My heart skips. Such a simple gesture, but one that makes me feel special, taken care of. "I feel like I should be offended," I say as he slides into the driver's seat. He grins, starting the car but leaving it idle as he twists to look at me. "Why?" "You just told me to be a good girl and you'd, you know." His brow rises. "I'm not sure I do." He moves quickly, leaning over the console, his body crowding me until I press back against the seat. He skims his nose up my neck, and my stomach cramps so tight I lose my breath. "Because I want to put my mouth on you." His lips dance from my ear down my jaw until they're hovering above mine. My heart slams against my chest. I am so out of my element. "I promise you'd like it," he whispers. And just like that, his body heat disappears as he moves to his side of the car and reverses out of the lot.
13. James. I'm taking her to the marina, to my home. I considered a more public outing, but I've decided against it, not wanting to take the chance of her father finding out before I'm ready. I'd like him to know exactly who I am before I pull the rug out from under him. Luckily, Rue didn't ask questions, most likely assuming she was something quick for me to enjoy. If he thought about it long enough, he'd realize I've never had a random girl in the office. Only Moira, and only when I need the release. But people see the world through a personal lens, and sometimes it's easier to believe what you think is true instead of having to figure out others. Generally, this works in my favour. Our meeting with Peter is tomorrow, and I'm practically giddy at the thought of meeting him face to face and watching the look in his eyes as we tell him no. He can be a dirty businessman all he wants. In fact, I'm quite sure he's excelled at the role for many years, but he won't come into this territory and stake ownership. He's taken enough from me. I won't allow him to have this too. A whiff of vanilla spirals through my nose. Wendy. I force a grin, refocusing my attention on her, not wanting to show the violent thoughts running through my head. Surprisingly, I feel no resentment, despite the fact she's the child of my enemy. In fact, if I think on it long enough, there's a tendril of something sickly and sweet that winds through my insides, regretful she has to be used this way, as a pawn in a goal much larger than she'll ever be. But I'm never one to pass up a golden opportunity, and that's exactly what she is, a way for me to play with my prey before I end him. Peter Michaels doesn't deserve a quick death. He deserves a reckoning. A realization that he has no friends, no family, no pride, that everything was taken from him. His choices stripped away and his reality molded into nightmares. And then I'll kill him. We pull into the marina, and before I even have the key out of the ignition, Wendy is reaching for the door. My hand shoots out, wrapping around her wrist. What's the rush? Stay still. Her eyes widen as she pauses. Oh, Releasing her, I slide from the car, walking around to open the passenger door. A spike of arousal flares through me as I gaze down, her chocolate eyes sparkling as she grins up at me, her face level with my groin. Such a pretty position we're in. I reach my hand out, and she places her palm in mine, my fingers squeezing slightly as I pull her from her spot. As soon as she's standing, I jerk her forward, her breath whooshing as she stumbles into my frame. Allow a man to be chivalrous, won't you? Her head dips slightly to rest against my chest before she clears her throat and backs away. She glances around. Are we going on a boat? I smile. Is that all right? Nodding, her fingers twist in front of her. It's fine, I don't do the best on water. My hand rests on her lower back as I guide her toward the walkway past the other boats, where, at the last slip, my 43-metre sailing yacht sits. The Tiger Lily. We aren't taking it anywhere. I just thought we could have dinner somewhere private. Sliding my palm around her waist, I help her step from the walkway onto the side deck. I don't normally bring people to where I live, and definitely never a woman, but I want her to feel special. Different. This is yours? She asks. Nodding, I follow behind her, the feel of her black dress soft underneath my hand. It is. Sailing yachts are wonderful for a majority of reasons. Luxurious, comfortable, and most importantly, they're extremely mobile, allowing me to escape to one of my many slips owned around the world if needed. She looks around the living room, the cream furniture setting nicely against the cherry wood floors. Do you live here? My stomach tightens as I watch her take it in. I do. It's beautiful. Warmth trickles through my chest. I walk up behind her. You're beautiful. She spins and I step closer, enjoying the way her body flushes crimson every time I do. Would you like a tour now or later? She tilts her head to one side, and I resist the urge to lean down and skim my lips across her skin. I think dinner first and then a tour. Nodding, I lead her to the sun deck, where I had my live-in crew member, Smee, set up dinner. I smile, pleased with the result of his work. Patio lights are strung, casting a romantic glow, and white linen and plates are set on the round table surrounded by the U-shaped cushion benches, champagne cooling in the centre. "Wow, this is gorgeous up here," she breathes. "Is that a hot tub?" I pull out her chair as she sits, before walking to my side of the table. "Yes, we can get in it if you like." Sitting across from her, I uncork the champagne and pour us both a glass, ignoring the way my chest pulls at the sight of her surrounded by the pinks and purples of the sunset. I wasn't lying when I told her she was beautiful. She is. Achingly so. "I hope salmon is all right?" I ask. Glancing at the food, she nods, picking up her fork. "It's perfect." She's quiet while she eats, and I take her in, my cock growing with every small bite she slips into her mouth, her eyes closing as she moans at the taste. We both clear our plates, small talk and the breeze off the water the only things to keep us company. Smee comes by silently to clear our plates, making Wendy jump in her chair. "Oh my God, I didn't know anyone else was here." I smirk. "That's Smee, my first mate, if you will." He smiles, his brown hair bouncing under his ridiculous red beanie as he inclines his head. "Pleasure, miss." "First mate?" she giggles. "Like a pirate? Does that make you the captain?" Amusement trickles through my chest, and I sit forward. "Why, yes, actually. I commandeer every vessel I'm in. I'd be more than happy to show you." Her mouth drops, her cheeks splotching with pink. The sun has long since set, the moon casting a haunting glow off the water, and I wait until Smee clears our plates and walks inside before I speak. "You look wonderful in the moonlight, darling." Taking a sip of her drink, she laughs. "You're really something else, you know that?" I lift the champagne flute to my lips, letting a bit of the bubbly liquid fizz on my tongue before I swallow. "Compared to what?" She tilts her head. "Well, I'm not sure. To all other men, I guess." "And that's a bad thing?" "No, not at all." She grins. It's a gorgeous smile, but it doesn't light up her face, and irritation smarts at my insides, knowing that she's suddenly putting on an act. I may be using her as a prop, a temporary toy, but I don't enjoy when things I consider mine aren't taken care of in my presence. And that's what she is until I decide otherwise. Mine. "Don't do that." "Do what?" "Put on a show, not here, not with me." She shakes her head, placing her fork down on the plate. "Then, can I be honest?" "I hope you'd never be anything less." "I don't really know how to act around you. I can't tell if you're really trying to get to know me, or if you're trying to impress me, or what." My brows lift. "And what if I am trying to impress you?" Her lip twitches. "Then it isn't working." "Oh." My brows lift, and I set down the champagne flute, leaning in. "Well then, what would impress you?" She smirks. "If I have to tell you, then it's not very impressive, is it?" A laugh bubbles in my chest, but I bite it back, my hand coming up to rub at the scruff on my chin. "I want to know about you," she says. My stomach turns at her words. I open my arms and glance around. "Sorry to disappoint, but this is me, darling." She shakes her head, placing a napkin on the table before standing and coming around in front of me. And then she plops down right in my lap. My hands shoot immediately to rest on her thighs, surprise flickering through me at her boldness. This I did not expect. "No?" she whispers, her face inches from mine. My abdomen tightens, noticing for the first time how amber flecks scatter within the dark brown of her eyes. "This is what you have," she continues. "I want to know what's in here." Her hand presses against my chest. My heart thumps against its cage, hoping she can't feel it through my skin, not wanting to admit, even to myself, that what she's doing is affecting me. But it is. Moving my hand to cup her cheek, my thumb presses into her bottom lip. Her breaths are heavy, her chest brushing against mine with every exhale. Our eyes are locked, and there's this unsettling feeling brewing in my gut. It's new and unwelcome, and I don't know how to control it. So I do the only thing I can think of to drown it out. I lean in, and I kiss her.
14. Wendy. His lips are surprisingly soft when they meet mine. Not that I'm complaining. I give in, sinking farther into his hold, his arm wrapping around my waist and pulling me tighter as his hand cups my cheek. My heart soars with his sweet caress, but soon enough, as if the fire licking my veins is reflected in his actions, he deepens the kiss, his tongue prying my mouth open. I moan at his taste, my stomach somersaulting at the way he completely consumes me. Heat shoots through my middle and throbs between my thighs, and I fling my leg over his to a straddle, my center coming to rest directly on top of his lap. He groans when I settle my weight, his hips pushing into me. I suck in a gasp at the movement, my lips breaking away at the feel of him hard and thick beneath me. His hand drags my face back to his. I press down, rocking forward, the friction of his length along my slit causing tingles to race through me, my clit swelling as a rush of wetness seeps from my core. Moving his hand from my cheek, he settles both palms on my hips, guiding my movement as we work up a rhythm, his lips breaking from mine to move down the length of my neck. He bites, sucks, and kisses, and while I'm sure he's leaving marks, I can't find it in me to care, too lost in the way he seems to mold me to fit perfectly into every single piece of him. "You taste so much better than I imagined," he groans into my skin. My head falls back, allowing him more access to the expanse of my throat. "Do me a favor, pet." Anything," I stutter out. "Grind that sweet little pussy on me until you make a mess all over my lap." I moan, even though his filthy words send a rush of embarrassment through me. I've never had someone speak to me that way. Still, there's such an enticing command in his tone, one that reaches out and wraps around my body, urging me to comply. My wetness is soaking through the fabric of my underwear as I chase my high. His length pulses against me, growing more rigid with every roll of my hips. The thought that I'm the one doing that to him, that I'm the one causing him to become so hard, sends a burst of confidence through me, and I double my efforts, something hot coiling in the base of my stomach. His gaze soaks me up like a sponge, and I close my eyes, imagining what it will feel like with him inside me. My core clenches, aching for something to fill it, even though nothing has been there before. He leans forward, his lips brushing up the side of my neck, causing goosebumps to sprout along my body. "When you're all alone in your room, how do you make yourself come?" I can barely focus on his words, my mind foggy from pleasure, but I get what he's asking, and for some reason, I trust him to know. So instead of speaking, something I'm not sure I'm even capable of right now, I show him. Moving his hand from where it's resting on my waist, I place it back on my neck, and then I press his fingers in, because I want him to squeeze. His eyes flare, his arm wrapping fully around my waist and jerking my body flush against him. "Do you like to be choked, darling?" His fingers grip tighter with a thrust of his hips. "Want me to squeeze your throat until you're on the edge of oblivion and seeing stars?" The pressure increases. I moan, my eyes rolling as my head tilts back. Pleasure skitters along my skin and rushes through my bloodstream. The truth is that even with my inexperience, I have urges. Nights where I lie in bed, playing out my fantasies in the shadows of the moon. And there's only been one way I've been able to make myself come, by holding my breath until my lungs seize and my mind goes dark. Maybe it's stupid of me to allow this virtual stranger to control something so vital as the air I breathe, but for some reason, I trust him. Please, I force out. He flips us, my body pliable and willing beneath him as he lays me on the cushioned bench. His body looms over me like danger in human form, his eyes dark as he applies the perfect amount of pressure against my windpipe. His other hand glides down my body, lightening up my insides with sparks, his touch like gasoline to the fire in my veins. His palm skims along the hem of my skirt, and he slips underneath, running the pads of his fingers right along the crease of my drenched underwear. My hips push against his hand, desperate to feel him touch my skin. His grasp tightens on my neck at the same moment he sneaks beneath the seam of my panties. So wet for me, he says, his fingers coming up and smearing my arousal along the seam of my lips. My heart skips, my stomach screwing up so tight it may shatter at any second. Such a delicious temptation. He licks the juices from my mouth. My legs tremble. And then his hand is back at my core, 2 fingers spreading me open and slipping easily inside from how soaked I am. I gasp, my back arching at the intrusion. His face is still next to mine, his mouth laving kisses along my jaw. So tight. Has anyone touched you here before? I'm not sure if he wants me to say no, but the thought of him assuming I'm some untouched flower with 0 experience is so unappealing, I can't find it in me to lie. Yes, I rasp. His eyes darken, fingers twitching against my esophagus. His breath coasts along my ear and down my neck, sending a chill racing along my spine. No one is allowed to touch you here again. His fingers pump in and out while his thumb circles slowly against my swollen clit. I'm a very possessive man, Wendy, and I want you for myself. His words should set alarm bells ringing, but all they do is stoke the flames of my passion, making it hard to breathe. Or maybe that's his hand slowly increasing the pressure against my neck. I suck in as deep a breath as I can with his iron vice grip, feeling like I might die if I don't get to come. My head grows lightheaded as my lungs beg for air, my mind screaming for me to claw at him to try and relieve the pressure. My hand flies up, fingers wrapping around his wrist, the veins of his forearms tensing under my palm. My center contracts. His grip on my throat tightens as the pressure in my clit pulses and throbs, spreading a tingling sensation through my body. A burn grows through my chest, radiating outward, and darkness rims my vision, and then I explode. My mouth opening on a silent scream, inner walls milking his fingers as if they want to suck him up and never let him leave. His hand immediately loosens, turning into soft, soothing strokes as I suck in mouthfuls of air, my chest heaving against his. Such a good girl, he purrs. Satisfaction courses through my veins and burrows deep into my chest, warm and fluffy and everything good. He moves, lifting my body so he can settle in behind me, and I curl up on him, his large hand stroking my hair and whispering words of praise. I don't try to speak, don't try to think too hard over what I just let happen. How he's treating me like some type of pet that he's proud of, or how it makes me feel when he does. I just close my eyes and let this moment be what it is. And when I wake up, I'm no longer on the deck, and I'm all alone.
All right. Woo, boy. Was that a spicy last little chapter. My goodness. I think our girl Wendy, she had her little fantasies definitely fulfilled, let's say. My goodness, our boy is, getting it in. Hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Let me know what you think about the thread. Ladies, you got some explaining to do in that thread, man. Definitely let me know what you guys think about our 4 chapters that we went over today. I will see you tomorrow if you're a Patreon member. Actually, no. I'll see you tomorrow regardless, because tomorrow is going to be the free Patreon episode. So, I will see you guys tomorrow for the free Patreon episode. I love you guys all, and I'll see you later.